Yeah. So you're looking at a 20-hour day. But are you excited? Are you fucking hyped for Jurassic World Dominion?
We'll see what this does for my hype level.
All right, that's fine. Deck of Mystery. Who's pulling this week? You pulled last week. I pulled last week?
I don't remember.
Somebody
we gotta do our prayer, though, don't we?
You're the prayer leader. You have more religious experience than me.
O deck of mystery, we prayeth unto thee. Please bless us with anything but Jurassic Park 5.
That is it. You know how many of those are in here?
Oh.
Jurassic Park 5. Watch 3JP Fallen Kingdom. All right, we just watched Jurassic Park 5.
Jurassic Park 5.
Third time charm, baby.
I'm working on my second energy drink.
As per last week, we made an agreement with each other that if we drew Jurassic Park 5, it would be the Mercenary Special.
Yeah.
So this is the Mercenary Special!
Mercenary Special!
Wow, wow, wow. Anyway, before we really get into notes... All right.
Oh, God.
Okay. So you have to understand. We did this last time with Transformers 5. We watched it 50 times. It's in the intro. It's a part of this. At some point, you have to realize you're staring down the barrel of this project. Right? Because it's not that, it's Jurassic Park a couple times. You hit a point where the conversation becomes, I'm going to have to watch Jurassic Park.
Potentially 20 times.
Right. And
it's not Jurassic Park, by the way. It's not Jurassic Park 1. It's Jurassic Park 5.
Right. So it's like the first watch, you're going, I'm all excited. It's going to be fun. And then watch 2.
Right. And plus, it's like the first time you see the film, so maybe that's not so bad.
But at some point, the reality of what this is sets in. So anyway, I'm starting to hit that wall is what I'm getting at.
That's funny because for me, like when you start... And I think this is mirrored with our first season. But when you kind of start to hit that wall, I start to jump up the other direction.
Yeah.
I usually start pretty low and then come back.
So I did want to start with something about comparing these two movies. So when we did Transformers 5, we went down so many rabbit holes of fan theories. Just like, because the movie's nonsensical if you actually watch it. And we did 50 times. So don't fucking come at us.
So much nonsense.
But... Sean, we're talking, and we talk a lot during the film. Maybe we'll film that at some point. I don't know. But there comes this point where Sean keeps wanting to be like, what about this fan theory and that fan theory? And you keep wanting to do that. And I keep not going along for it. And I'm trying to figure out why. And I think this is the best analogy between those two movies that I can come up with. Jurassic Park 5 is like, those mosaic pictures made up of tiny pictures? Mm-hmm. It's like a beautiful mosaic picture of a photorealistic velociraptor. And so you're at first enthralled that this exists, and then you might see like the Reddit post or the Facebook post that's like, 287,000 pictures makes this picture. So much work and time and effort went into doing this. And it looks at first glance immaculate. But what it really is a mosaic made up of pictures of homeless people shitting in the street. And so it's like, upon actual critical examination, it is just like a tremendous pile of excrement.
It's just one giant turd.
Right. Meanwhile, Transformers 5 is like paying to go on a carnival ride where you are sexually assaulted by a vomiting clown. Because the experience is terrible. But you did pay for it. It was advertised.
It's kind of worse than that, though, because on the ride, the clown is like, "You're gonna go on this fun ride," and then he slips you a roofie.
Well, I was sort of
and 2 hours later.
For me, it was like you're at the circus and you do the little the roller coaster they have, and you do the tilt-a-whirl, and you do the pop up and down, whatever.
Right.
You know, and then there's a big sign that says like, "Get sexually assaulted by a vomiting clown, $9." And you're like,
no,
that it can't be like that. And you're like,
and you pay the $9 because you have to find out what the hell they're really doing. So then you spend
the whole rest of the evening talking about this vomiting clown experience, not because you were sexually assaulted, which you'd think would be the point here, but because somebody went out of their way to set this up as a carnival ride and charge people for it. At some point, a meeting happened where a man in a suit was like, you know what a good idea for a carnival ride would be? People would be sexually assaulted by a vomiting clown. And then another person didn't say, Jeff, you're fired. That is the worst idea a human being has ever
the carny boss went, that's fucking genius.
We'll have to charge at least $9. And there was a fucking line. You're waiting in line for this. So Transformers 5 is like...
You might even be there with your kids.
Yeah. Transformers 5 is like dissecting the confusing reality that you're existing in. Whereas Jurassic Park 5 is something that looks like art, but really is just a giant, disparate pile of differing colors of shit.
All right, well...
Anyway, Mercenaries!
I'm going to strike this note out. Because you just ruined my ability to use it.
What was the note?
It was the theory that I came up with that I was going to bring up, but since you have to be a dick, I'm not even going to waste my breath.
Okay. Do you want to start with a dino of the week or a hypest moment, or you just want to get straight into fucking notes? How do you want to start with
let's I tell you what, let's start on a high note. Let's start out with the dino of the week, and let's end with the low note, which is the dino downer.
Oh, shit. Didn't write that. Writing that now.
All right, well, I'll give my dino of the week. It was the Pachyocephalosaurus.
Oh, the Packy?
Yeah.
Hardhead guy?
Yeah. And it was specifically because of the moment when he headbutts the mercenary.
For reference, I like him.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And you can ride them in the video game Ark.
Yeah. Well,
so that's a little note for you nerds.
Yeah, that's also probably going to get blurred out because, I don't know, you seem to blur out everything when it comes to referencing any properties that aren't Jurassic Park.
My dino of the week! Dino of the week is blue. And the theme of the Mercenary special, I wanted to keep in line with Mercenaries. Mm-hmm. So Blue eats one.
As much as possible.
Well, Blue actually has a body count of 3 Mercenaries. Blue killed, I think, 3.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
It's a hell of a dinosaur. It's the only dinosaur with empathy.
Apparently.
I guess.
According to the movie.
Which is
weird because the one licks Owen in the face.
Well, either Blue has empathy because it's a genetic anomaly, and it's like the only raptor of its kind.
Blue's DNA will be part of the next Indoraptor's makeup. So it will be genetically coded to recognize her authority and assume her traits. Empathy, obedience, everything the prototype you have now is missing.
Or if you believe the Asian scientist, he meticulously designed it to have empathy.
I designed this animal myself. It's pure. Every cell of her body was created in the most controlled environment under the most demanding of conditions.
She'll live?
If it dies, we have blood samples.
No, that's not good enough. The raptor is a behavioral specimen.
I need blood samples from the raptor.
If it dies, we have blood samples.
No, that's not good enough.
I need this raptor's blood.
Behavioral specimen.
I'm gonna get this blood, with or without your help.
Behavioral specimen.
So here's my first note.
For this nonsense.
The Mercenaries in the beginning are in a sub and a helicopter trying to get a buoy from a sub. When you don't need a buoy, you could just get the sub to go away. Anyway, they're getting a sample, which has to be a physical sample and not a digital sample, even though they designed the dinosaur so they could recreate it without needing a piece of its ribs. I'm getting off topic. My point is, the man is wearing a headset. The headset you can use to talk to people through the headset. Have you ever worn a headset and you put the headset on and then you talk to people through the headset to other people presumably wearing headsets? Mm-hmm. Now, this man wearing a headset, talking to other people who have headsets on, is yelling at them across the walkway to say he can't hear them with his ears and face, but not the headset, which he is wearing, and they're also wearing. I don't know if that's a plot hole or one of these, like, you see what I mean? Like, somewhere in this dinosaur picture, that's one of the homeless guys taking a shit.
So, the mercenaries in general, just like as a group,
yeah,
did a really, really, really poor job of planning any of this stuff out.
So I want to tennis ball you some notes, but first I just want to take 2 quick fun facts about mercenary. Mercenary fun facts! The head mercenary is Ken Wheatley, hired by Eli Mills to collect dinosaurs with a bonus contingent for bringing Blue back alive? Either way.
No, he demanded that Blue be brought back alive, which is hilarious because there's a scene where the paleo lady, the
paleo veterinarian,
thank you,
yes, ma'am,
who apparently also had never met a dinosaur before, but whatever,
never seen one.
She tells Wheatley that the tranquilizers that they're using are too powerful to use on Blue and will kill her, and yet they shoot her with them anyway. Even though the order was to get the bonus, they had to bring her back alive.
Is that one of your notes? Are we going into this?
That is one of my notes.
All right. So not only do they shoot Blue with more than one tranquilizer after being explicitly warned by the paleo
and then shoot her with a bullet.
Yeah, they just won't stop fucking unloading rounds into this goddamn dinosaur.
Yeah. Yeah. And, actually, it's kind of funny because you brought up another thing, like, during our watch, you said, why is it, like, when we were watching all the mercenaries load all the dinosaurs onto the boat, and you see the Stegosaurus, which, for all intents and purposes, it's all strapped down and shit, is probably one of the least dangerous dinosaurs, especially given the fact that it's an herbivore.
Right.
And we know, based on the way that the animals operate in the film, the herbivores don't go out of their way to attack anybody. They constantly just run away. But none of the other dinosaurs, like even the carnivorous ones, like the Allosaurus, are sedated. And yet the Stegosaurus is. And you said, why? and I looked at you and I said, well, the only reasonable answer I could ever come up with, not that it would matter because it's still not reasonable, but the only reasonable answer I could come up with would be because they know that shooting them, the smaller dinosaurs with the sedatives, would kill them. But yet they don't apply the same logic to Blue, the one that they would get the bonus for if they catch it.
Right.
These mercenaries did a poor job of planning. Is my point, and I'm gonna keep referencing that. You know what? I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna just ask it point blank.
Let's fucking go. Ask this shit, bro.
So obviously the mercenaries were hired by Eli, right?
Yes.
He's the one that hired him.
Yes.
He's setting this whole thing up.
Eli Mills hired.
He's trying to make money off of selling these dinosaurs. He even admits it later on.
He's a bad guy.
Do you think those mercenaries were the cheapest mercenary army available for him to hire?
Well, I would state that Eli Mills is genuinely incompetent as like sort of a holistic person.
I mean, obviously the mercenaries are incompetent.
Yes, clearly they are incompetent. What I mean by that is it's unclear whether Eli Mills has money or needs money, wants to sell the dinosaurs nefariously or can just do it legally. Who owns these? If they're all going to die anyway, why does any of this need to happen in like a covert fashion. If we're not legislating to save them, but they want to save them, and I mean, so we talked about this a little bit. I'm just going to get into it. T-Rexes and velociraptors and triceratopses and all those types of animals. Those are fossils we find all the time in like America. So from a purely legislative standpoint, I'm not talking about like anything other than just like the letter of this.
Yeah, unless some law was, or some kind of legislation was produced.
Right. From purely a regulatory capacity, you would not be violating any laws by bringing a T-Rex into America.
Right, because technically it would be native to America.
Yeah, you're just reintroducing a native species. Like, okay, Fish and Game might have some, like, words for you, but it's not invasive and it's not foreign.
No, but... yeah, again, that's where everything gets all super loosey-goosey, right? But again, I kind of talked about this, and it was going back to that same connotation. Okay, so you're saying that technically...
in the radio tower, where they have tracked the dinosaurs. Yeah? Mm-hmm. With me? Okay. They figure out where Blue is, mm-hmm. and then Owen is like, I'm going to borrow your truck. And then the veterinarian's like, I'm going to come with you. Then Ken Wheatley goes, oh, well, it's real dangerous. You should take a gun. And she's like, I don't need a gun because I'm a strong woman who don't need no man. And look, ladies, I am for feminist movements and women being equal partners in society, and I treat my wife with all the love and respect in the world. That character is an irritating caricature of human behavior, and I loathe it. I'm not mad at women or feminism or the movements or any of this. I'm mad at the paleo veterinarian character being a smart talky, smart alecky ass face to a guy who's clearly trying to like not let her get eaten by dinosaurs.
You know what she makes me think of?
Vomiting in your mouth a little bit?
Possibly a little bit of that. But the purest example I can come up with is she makes me think of when you get a job somewhere, right? And you've been there for a while, and then the company hires somebody new, and they come in there and they act like they know fucking everything. Yeah. And you're like, you've been here for 2 days, you know?
That's who she is to you?
Right. And she's just like, I don't fucking need none of your bullshit. I'm going to do whatever I want. And then she point blank admits, even though she's like, oh, I'm a specialist in paleo veterinarian. I've never seen a dinosaur before. I never thought I would see one.
This is not mercenary-based conversation.
It is mercenary-based conversation because Wheatley makes some pretty bold comments about her.
And then, right after that, literally the next shot. So Owen Green and the paleo veterinarian leave together like they're borrowing a truck to get Blue by themselves. The next shot from that scene is them in a truck with like 9 guys, including Ken Wheatley.
Right.
What? Why do you write a scene where they make a big stink about going alone and not bringing the thing? Because if you're gonna shoot her, she'll die. And I'm so smart, I don't need no man. And I'm gonna borrow your truck.
And then they're all in
the fucking truck.
And then not only to mention that, but when they actually get to the point where they're going to capture Blue,
right?
Owen comes out first.
Yeah.
She's not there with him.
No, not even a little bit.
He comes out first.
Yeah.
He starts interacting with Blue.
Yeah.
Blue starts to, kind of respond because she remembers who Owen is.
She's the second smartest being on Earth.
And then the very next group that shows up is the mercenaries, and they're like, we're going to shoot this dinosaur. Bam, 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 bam. And then after all of that is resolved, right, the conflict happens, Owen's on the ground, he's knocked the fuck out by the mercenaries. Finally, she shows up, and she's like, oh, now I'm going to pull out my big dick swagger and point a gun at you.
Well, yeah.
And then the only thing that comes out of her mouth is, well, if you shoot me, Blue dies. and then you don't get anything.
Right.
And they're like, okay, well, we'll keep you alive now that you pointed that out.
Yeah.
So that you can keep the dinosaur alive. But if the dinosaur dies, we will absolutely shoot you.
Sure.
Right? And that's it. That's a fucking cowardice move on her part.
And that leads me...
If she would have just stayed in the bushes, she wouldn't have even been in that situation in the first place.
Which I think leads me to my point. Another note I have, which is... Oh, God, this movie doesn't make any sense.
Fucking stupid.
Why are they double-crossing Owen and Claire and all right, Owen and Claire and the guy, the systems guy, Jonathan, Jeremiah, Jacob.
Fucking remember what his name is.
Jojo. Jib Job.
Almost
Jabber.
gets eaten by an Allosaurus.
Bluto.
That's the one.
Cool. So you got Owen and Claire and Bluto and Flumby, who's the veterinarian.
Okay, fine.
All right. So we'll call them...
We don't remember their names.
We'll call them our guardians of the...
Jurassic verse.
This is a terrible name.
The Guardians of the Jurassic verse.
I'm going to call them Team A.
They're no. They're Team Blue.
Team Blue. All right, great.
They're Team Blue.
So Team Blue is brought to the island for a couple of disparate reasons, but by and large, their motives are they love dinosaurs. So they're there to help dinosaurs.
Okay, let's...
Then, hold on. Just let me, please, can I finish?
Okay, go ahead.
So Team Blue is brought to the island because they love dinosaurs.
Sure.
All right.
Some of them love dinosaurs. I don't think Owen gives a shit.
That's a whole other thing. We're getting wildly off topic. Team Blue is brought to the island because they love dinosaurs.
Right. To save the dinosaurs.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Then, as far as they know, that's exactly what they're doing.
Is saving the dinosaurs.
Then, no one's upset other than that they jumped the gun with shooting Blue with a couple sedatives. But still, reasonably, what they did isn't grounds for...
Right. And then a mercenary gets jumped on by Blue and attacked.
Shoots in self-defense.
And shoots in self-defense, which is totally reasonable.
Again, I'm not trying to say that there's no need for animosity here. I'm just trying to say that what's happened, while extreme, all right, understandable, people make mistakes.
I'm sorry, but if a velociraptor jumps on me and I've got a handgun in my hand, I'm going to shoot it.
You're gonna shoot it.
That's just what's going to happen.
Right. The question I'm sort of getting at here is, why are we double-crossing anybody? I get that they double-cross Team Blue and try to leave them on the island to die, but why?
Okay, so
what possible purpose does that serve?
So the only answer I could come up with is that ultimately it must have been a mistake. An escalation, basically. Poor de-escalation capability. Basically what happened was they show up to capture Blue, right?
Uh-huh.
Owen's like, I'll get her. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'll talk her down.
Right.
We'll get her on the truck. It'll be fine.
Gotcha.
Mercenaries are like, fuck that shit. We're just going to shoot her with lethal poison, effectively.
Which I guess is totally not lethal, by the way. They shoot her with enough and she's fine.
She ends up being fine. But, so they do that, right?
Uh-huh.
Owen obviously gets pissed off between that and Blue getting shot by the Merc.
Right.
He gets pissed off, goes to swing at what's-his-face.
They shoot him.
Wheatley.
Yeah.
And Wheatley just shoots him with a trank.
Sure.
And knocks him on the ground.
Perfect.
And at that point, they've hit this... At that point, they've hit this point of escalation where obviously they're not going to be friends.
They don't have to be friends. But why are we double-crossing anybody?
Well, I mean, on top of that, the only other answer kind of leads back to one of my notes, and it's there's a part where Wheatley's talking to Claire when he's telling her what's going to happen as far as getting the dinosaurs, and he's telling her that there's an island that they purchased for these dinosaurs to go to, right? Well, okay, so if the mercenaries and that group were supposed to get the dinosaurs and take them to that island, do you think that the island either A, never existed in the first place, or what do you think the deal with that island is?
So I'm going to go deep on Jurassic Park lore here. May I?
Go ahead.
Okay. That island already canonically exists, and it has dinosaurs on it.
No.
Yes.
In which movie?
2.
Oh, that's the island from 2.
The entire plot of Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, the whole plot, Sean.
Okay, yeah. No, this review isn't about Jurassic Park 2.
But I know, but this is important because it invalidates this entire movie. Is that there is a second island,
okay,
that has dinosaurs on it,
right? But this island, the island that they're on in this movie, is actually the island from the first movie,
right? And it'll blow up and kill all the dinosaurs, but that's not an extinction event.
Right.
Because there's another island.
That has dinosaurs on it.
That has dinosaurs on it.
Already.
Now, look, to be fair, shameless cash grab franchises often overlook tiny details like your whole movie is invalidated by the existence of a previous entirely other movie. Because they're shameless. This isn't Marvel. And Matt, if I could do a quick aside.
Basically, to give you my best answer.
All right.
Obviously, the even though they fed that line of bullshit,
yeah,
to Claire Danes and everybody,
sure,
about taking them to the island, they knew full well that was never going to happen, right? The mercenaries and Wheatley were never going to take the dinosaurs to that island. So at some point, they had to have known that eventually...
Franklin is that guy's name. I'm sorry. We wrote it on the board last week.
We wrote it on
and
the
I've
board.
been staring at it for this entire recording. And I sat there looking you dead in the eyes with that name written 2 feet above your head.
Whatever.
And I called him anything but Franklin.
Anyways.
Sorry.
Anyways, so they knew full well that was never going to fucking happen, right? They weren't going to do that. So at some point, eventually, the jig was going to be up, right? We talked about this on this watch. The main cast of characters, obviously the mercenaries are getting paid.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
That's talked about.
Yes.
But the main cast of characters aren't getting paid.
Team Blue's doing it for the love of the game.
Team Blue is doing it for the love of the dinosaurs.
Right.
I mean, shit, at the beginning of the movie, Claire Danes is running like a...
dinosaur charity.
I don't know what the fuck it is. A
Wouldn't
political
she
group
know about the other island?
You would think.
If anybody in this movie would have that information, wouldn't it be the lady who fucking ran Jurassic World? Like, that file's gonna come to her at some point and be like, hey, real quick, Claire, there's a whole other island with dinosaurs on it. We're not gonna deal with that, but just FYI.
I don't.
Like, if anybody's gonna have that.
I don't fucking know. I don't have any answers for that stupid shit. And I don't have the patience for it right now, to be perfectly honest.
Jeff Goldblum was on that island!
Yeah,
he took his daughter there!
Yeah, but hold on. First off, I'm going to say that's not mercenary related. But secondly, in defense of that, Jeff Goldblum does not play an integral role in this film.
Okay.
To be very clear on that.
Yeah, look, this whole Jurassic Park 2 snafu.
He never has a conversation with any of the main characters.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's not a thing that ever happens.
Okay.
So
back to notes.
Okay, so
getting on topic.
So
what do you got?
So they want to save the dinosaurs, right?
Uh-huh.
The group wants to save the dinosaurs.
I suppose.
But instead of hiring some professional animal handlers,
sure,
like what you would normally do, like you would probably, because these animals are big, right?
Yeah.
You would probably go to like India and find some like elephant herders or something.
Right.
Somebody who was used to handling large animals.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, they hire a bunch of dipshit, cutthroat,
lunatics,
borderline psychotic mercenaries.
Right.
That was all that note was.
Well,
I wanted to make sure I pointed that shit out because.
I mean, to be fair, they did get one veterinarian who's never seen a dinosaur before, so they got that.
Yeah, but the only reason why they got her was because she happened to be working for Claire Danes.
That is true.
They were after Claire Danes, and they specifically point this out. They're after Claire Danes because her handprint, because she was the head of the park, her handprint can unlock the thing so that the mercenaries can track Blue.
This is
all they give a shit about.
This is a good mercenary question. How long were they on that island before Team Blue got there?
What do you mean?
How long were they there? The mercenaries were there capturing dinosaurs before Team Blue showed up with Claire and her handprint to track Blue.
Dude, I have.
So how long were they on that?
I have no.
Why wouldn't
idea.
you bring in Claire on day 1 to track the dinosaurs, right? Then you're like, we gotta get this blue dinosaur, but it's not going anywhere.
Well, that goes back to the fact that we pointed out that Eli and the Wheatley and co.
The Wheatleys.
The Wheatleys.
Sure.
They're all a bunch of fucking morons.
Speaking of them being morons, that ties nicely into my hypest moment.
Okay. It's just them being morons and you staring at the camera.
No. My hypest moment also goes into my last note. So it's a whole thing. I'm going to do a whole thing. Do you have anything you want to cover before I do a whole thing? Because I'm going to do a whole thing.
The only other statement I had was, and yet again, it's par for the course with these guys, but it goes back to the beginning of the movie and is a nice little crescendo and point that we've made about these series of movies. The mercenaries, and yet again, a whole long line of blunders, screwed up, underestimated all of the dinosaurs, and when they're fishing to get the piece of the Indominus Rex so they can make the Indoraptor, completely blunder the entire fucking operation like a pack of morons and leave the water gate open so Fish Dino can get out. So not only are they now responsible, these fucking mercenaries are responsible for A, giving dinos to
The
effectively third world despots.
Kevin Saurus.
So I'm gonna make a quick list for you. They're responsible for third world despots getting their hands on carnivorous dinosaurs. They're also responsible for dinosaurs being loose in Northern California.
Our Carnosaur and our Pachysaur.
And the T-Rex. The T-Rex ran off.
He's not a dino of the week yet.
Not of the week, but the T-Rex is loose in Northern California.
Right, I'm only referencing these.
Okay, whatever. They're also fucking responsible for Kevin Saurus being loose out in the ocean. So now, what is like all of shipping and trade and all naval ships are at threat for this massive dinosaur that can literally swallow like entire ships.
I mean, we don't know how long that thing's gonna live for.
So Franklin talked about when the mercenaries are bringing them in again. See how I brought it back to the mercenaries there?
I'm glad we're doing this.
When the mercenaries brought them into the island there, he's talking about the T-Rex.
Yeah.
And he's like,
we don't know
after all this time, she's dead by now, right? And their response was, well, if you take a caveman whose average lifespan would have been like 30 years and you feed him well and give him medical attention and whatnot, you're probably going to triple that or more. And he goes, so she's dead, right? And then flash forward to when
not
they're
dead.
Totally not dead.
Yeah.
Not only to mention that, but Kevin Saurus is also not dead.
Right.
So,
it's about to eat a surfer when we last see it.
Right, at the end of the film. So again, like my point still stands. They're responsible for basically wreaking havoc on the world. Like these mercenaries not that it matters because the majority of them die, including Wheatley, but these mercenaries should be like at the top of the most wanted list.
No, they're incompetent lunatics, which leads me to
obviously they're also fucking mass murderers.
I mean, they're mass murderers in the way that Oppenheimer's a mass murderer. Kind of, but also
Shut the fuck up. That's
not
not Jurassic Park related.
I hate you for me doing that, and now you're calling me on it. Anyway, hypest moment. What do you got?
What do I got? You want my hypest moment?
Yeah, because mine's going to be a whole
Are
production.
you gonna make me write this?
You've been writing them.
I want you to go first with your hypest moment because I've got two optional ones, but one of them is not mercenary related.
Well, it has to be mercenary related. This is the mercenary special.
Damn it! I really wanted to bust this other one out. All right, fine.
You act like we're never going to watch this movie again.
I'm gonna completely forget about it next week. My hypest moment actually goes back to my dino of the week.
Sean's hypest moment.
When the Packy headbutts that mercenary.
Magnificent animal.
Hypest moment is when the mercenary, Ken Wheatley, puts a gun to Owen's head and said, "You would have had better odds on the island."
Hello. You should have stayed on the island. Better odds.
That shit got me so hyped.
You know what? That part right there, we've talked about that already on the last two watches. I'm surprised that neither of us mentioned it at all.
Oh, I have a whole thing.
Okay. I wanted to leave that to him, and I made a comment about it while we were watching.
So it's important to understand that the island, when he says they would have had better odds on the island, what's the word I'm looking for, Sean? It was doing what now?
Exploding.
It was exploding. And what happened to all the dinosaurs on it?
Any of the ones that got left behind died.
What about most other living things on that island that was exploding?
I would imagine also dead.
Okay, so to be left on the island is certain death.
According to empirical evidence, yes.
All right. So when Ken Wheatley says to Owen Green, with a pistol to his temple, "You would have had better odds on the island," why didn't he shoot him in the face? You just shoot him in the face. No. Then he puts him in jail, and him and Eli go on a whole thing. They go on a whole thing. Also, I don't think we've ever said this. My name's Eli. Welcome to All Aboard the Hype Train, and this is my best friend, hetero life mate Sean.
Yeah, welcome to all aboard the hype train.
Anyway, god damn it, they put him in his cell, and then they're gloating the whole time, and he's not shooting him in the face. Shoot him in the face.
Right, and not only that, but fucking Eli makes a comment. He fucking says, "We're gonna say to everybody that they died on the fucking island."
Shoot him in the
Which is
face.
like an open threat. We're going to kill them.
Shoot him in the face.
Don't fucking do it. Right?
Shoot him.
They don't even have to do that. They don't even have to shoot him in the face.
Shoot him in the face.
They have carnivorous dinosaurs.
Freedom of dinosaurs.
No body left. I'm sorry. We've all seen Tiger King.
Then they have an auction where they show how they train the dinosaur to eat people on command. Feed him to that one. Tie him to a rock and point him with the laser and make the dinosaur eat him with the laser sound gun. The gun that has bullets in it. Shoot him with your bullets. Shoot him in the fucking face. Then before the auction even starts, you know what you can do before the auction starts, Sean? You can shoot him in the face. They're in a cage. Shoot him in the face. Just shoot.
Okay, stop.
Oh my god.
I'm about to point something out to you that's
Please.
going to make you even more frustrated.
I doubt it.
You know what's even worse than that?
Oh, play. Yes.
Not only do they not shoot him in the face or kill them right there,
Right.
they have two more opportunities to do it and they don't do it.
What are the other two?
When they're in the hallway and they see Eli and he's got the two mercenary guards and they have guns
Shoot him
on
in the face.
Shoot him in the fucking face.
him in the face.
You don't say shit. You look
shoot
at your
him.
guards, you say shoot him.
In the face.
Right.
Right
And
in
then
their
they
face.
shoot him.
In
But
the face.
instead, as per usual for master villains, he has to go on this long rant about bullshit.
Fuck this. All right, I'm calling this trope out right now. Right fucking now, okay? There's 2 ways to do this, and this movie doesn't get to fall into that, oh, we were doing the villain gloat trope. No, fuck you, movie, you don't get to. Here's why, all right? There's 2 reasons the villain gloat does the villain gloat in a villain gloat, all right? Reason the first, the way he's trying to kill your hero is elaborately complicated. Like it's a laser or a nuclear bomb or it's a presumption of death with an action. Right. Oh, Mr. Bond, I'd let you out of my sand trap full of snakes, but I think you'll be a hearty last meal for them as the volcano erupts, you know? I think that's more like an Indiana Jones thing. But, you know, that kind of situation. Oh, I'd love to stand here and watch you get crushed by the rocks, but I have a plane to catch. You know, that kind of thing. I've trained this laser to make a man-eating chicken consume your genitals, and I have to watch my masterwork in progress, right? You're either not doing something or doing something complicated.
Right.
Or it's a comedy, and then you're making a joke about it. You know, that whole angle. This is neither of those things. So this movie doesn't get to do that. What this movie does is establish that we want them dead. We literally have a gun pointed to their actual face.
And not only that, but we have there's no reason to not just shoot them.
Right.
Right? In fact, everything, all of your motivation is applied towards shooting them.
Right.
And yet you don't do it.
Yeah. The argument, if you really want to do that...
It would be like if somebody kicked in my front door and I've got my handgun fully loaded in my hand and I went, I'm not going to shoot them for some reason?
You're shoot them in the face.
I'm going to go on some random rant?
I'm gonna
fell into my trap now.
Look, I am aware that spending $170 million to make a dinosaur movie to sell to Chinese slave owners is like a whole other thing. So, you know, there's a lot of moving parts there. You have to make sure the Chinese government is happy with the amount of ghosts in your movie, which is 0. And
which is 0.
If your movie has a ghost in it,
clones totally fine though.
Clones are, well, they're not.
We
ghosts.
know that one now.
Yes. Now, any of that. The point I'm getting at is, Monday morning quarterbacking is easy on a film. So I'm not gonna say like, well, if I was in the room, I would do this that, because there's like a million moving parts and people are getting paid a lot of money to barely do any work, and like, why wouldn't you just ride that train and say the first laziest thing that comes to your head and then go home?
Right.
Fuck it. It's not like you're not gonna get paid $280,000 to do this garbage. You already cut the check.
Right.
You get the point. Instead of saying you had better odds on the island, what you say is, well, look what the cat dragged in, or look what the velociraptor dragged in, or aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
Because you don't, when you make a statement like that, if you say you had better odds on the island,
shoot him.
You establish a narrative that there is an imminent threat of death.
Yes.
Right?
Because the island killed everything that was half of the movie.
Correct. So you have to, at that point, establish something more threatening than the island. And they don't.
And then instead of saying to Owen, instead of saying something like, oh, well, everyone's going to think that you just burned up on that island, so we'll handle it, you know, then you shoot him in the face, right? Because we all are, we know you're dead. We are going to tell people you died. We don't want you to be alive now. Right. Kill him. What you do say is...
It could be a situation where instead of shooting him in the face, he says something like that, and then maybe he shoots him like in the hip or the kidney or something. Right? Yeah, and he's like, you're going to fucking bleed out, and he leaves him there, and maybe he turns on the cyanide gas for
and now we have a ticking clock.
Right. And now it creates some suspense. She has to keep him alive, keep herself alive, and get them out all at the same time.
Or how's this for a fucking line? Are you ready? I'd have Ken kill you right now, but I don't want to get blood on my suit, and I have an auction to go to. Kill him when the auction's over. And then he leaves the fucking room like a boss.
Right. Then you create a narrative of a reason why they have to stall for this nonsense.